Welcome back. This was pretty scary for drivers on a Houston freeway after a massive fiber spool fell off a truck's flatbed and rolled down I-10 in the middle of rush hour. And we said massive, that is massive.
It's massive.
Everything's bigger in Texas, right? Including spools. Drivers weaved out of the way while some captured the scene with their cell phones, because that's what you want to do when you're trying to weave in and out of traffic, avoiding a giant spool, is break out your phone. Luckily, no one was hurt. Houston police have not said exactly what led to the spool getting loose or if the truck driver faces any charges, but wow. A brown bear was rescued after getting trapped in a hydropower station in northwest China. The bear was stuck at the metal drainage gate amid gushing water, poor thing. Crews used an excavator to lift the bear into a cage. The 14-hour rescue operation was a success, 14 hours. Wow. And the bear was reportedly taken into an animal rescue station. Take a look at this stunning and slightly eerie nebula captured by the NASA ESA Hubble Space Telescope. It's about 550 light years away and is known as the Ghost of Cassiopeia, IC63. It's being shaped by radiation from a nearby unpredictable variable star, which is slowly eroding away the cloud of dust and gas. This photo is possibly the most detailed image that's ever been taken of IC63, and this is possibly the most detailed scientific story I've ever read. Now here's Christina with Ugly Fruit.
Good job. New studies show that most people will not buy ugly fruit, but one professor is looking to change that. Studies show up to 40% of the fruits and vegetables in the U.S. are not eaten, meaning they end up in the trash. University of Florida professor Jeffrey Brecht says ugly fruits and vegetables are not only just as good for you as the pretty ones, but they could be better. He says ugly produce can be nutritionally superior because they haven't been stored for a long time, reminding people that it's what's on the inside that counts.
Good job.
Metaphor for life. All right, new research shows paid family leave policies in California and New Jersey help to increase breastfeeding rates. The San Francisco study found the increase was highest among women with higher incomes. 2 other states have introduced paid family leave, including Rhode Island and New York.
Did you know this? I didn't know this. It turns out the happiest place on earth is also a very popular place for people to scatter the ashes of their loved ones. It's so common at Disneyland and Disney World that it even has its own code name. HEPA cleanup, and people aren't just scattering the ashes on flower beds, they're actually dumping them on rides, including Pirates of the Caribbean. And it's a small world. Custodians say the Haunted Mansion may be the most popular place to leave ashes. Disney officials remind people it's illegal to scatter human ashes in the park, and anyone caught doing it will be escorted off the property. And that includes the Dumbo ride, which leads us to this. A rare sighting of a ghostly octopus left deep-sea explorers entranced.
Look at that.
It's known as the Dumbo octopus, and that's where I'm going with this, and it looks pretty cool. Experts say the small octopus can swallow its prey whole. Wow, bad for the prey. Crew members of the exploration vessel EV Nautilus posted video of the spooky sighting online.
A high-tech eye test that diagnoses traditional eye problems, including glaucoma and cataracts, is now helping doctors detect some serious health issues.
CBS 13's Chris Martinez shows us how it works.
Put your forehead all the way forward. Are you comfortable?
Yes. 3 years ago, Ali Mateus went to the optometrist with pain in her eyes.
Something was strange in my eye and I had never felt the pain before, so I really wanted to figure out exactly what was going on.
Get closer until it turns green.
The 26-year-old had a test using this machine called the OptoMap. It allows doctors to examine the eyes without dilation, which leaves patients with blurry vision for hours.
It's very inconvenient for people because we all have busy lives.
The machine takes a digital high-definition scan of the eye and optic nerve. Those scans can reveal signs of conditions like cancer and high blood pressure.
We could zoom in if I see something suspicious to get a better detailed image of it.
Dr. Diane Song says the technology has helped her diagnose illnesses in several patients, including a breast cancer survivor.
She actually had a metastasis of her breast cancer go into her eyes, and we were able to see it on the OptoMap images.
In Ali's case, Dr. Song found optic neuritis, which can be a warning sign for multiple sclerosis.
It turned out after MRIs and other testing that I did have multiple sclerosis.
An early diagnosis has helped her fight back.
The fact that I'm on medication now and able to start lessen the lesions that I'm going to have over time is so significant.
She says it otherwise could have been years before doctors discovered her disease.
Now, the OptoMap test is not covered by all insurance plans, but it typically costs about $40.
Now on the CBS 13 News at 5. One man arrested in connection with a bomb sent to critics of President Trump.
They uncovered a latent fingerprint.
14 packages sent nationwide, including Sacramento.
It was really good work by the postal employees here to identify packages they thought was suspicious.
So many questions remain.
Could you tell us plainly, why was he targeting Democrats?
I don't know, other than what you might normally expect.
Your News at 5 starts now.
We're learning more about the man arrested in connection to the 13 suspicious packages sent to critics of President Trump, including one intercepted in Sacramento. Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tony Lopez.
And I'm Christina Janes. Here's what we know right now. Federal authorities have arrested 56-year-old Cesar Sayoc of South Florida in connection to the series of package bombs sent this week. Now, there are at least 13 packages in total sent to a variety of Democratic political figures, critics of the president, and to CNN. One package was intercepted in Sacramento, addressed to Senator Kamala Harris. And we have team coverage this evening on the investigation, but we begin with CBS 13's Hillary Lane in New York, where another package was found this morning.
Police led Cesar Sayoc into the FBI field office in Miramar, Florida, Friday afternoon. The 56-year-old is being charged with 5 federal crimes in connection with a series of explosive devices sent to prominent Democrats and CNN this week. The FBI arrested Sayoc in this parking lot near an auto parts store in Plantation, Florida this morning.
I want to focus for a moment on the amazing work of our folks at the FBI lab. Based on their initial analysis, they uncovered a latent fingerprint from one of the envelopes containing an IED that had been sent to Congresswoman Maxine Waters.
Sayoc, a South Florida resident originally from New York, has an extensive criminal record. Social media shows him at Trump rallies, and the van was covered with anti-Democrat and pro-Trump stickers. President Trump condemned the violence and promised swift justice.
These terrorizing acts are despicable and have no place in our country.
More suspicious devices were found earlier on Friday, including one found at a postal facility here in Midtown Manhattan.
It is very, very scary, and I think that we all have to be very, very careful.
The package was addressed to former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, care of CNN. Other devices found Friday targeted Senators Cory Booker and Kamala Harris and a prominent Democratic donor. The FBI says the devices are real and there may be more of them still out there.
Sayoc is charged with 5 crimes and faces 48 years in prison if convicted. He'll be in court on Monday.
As we mentioned, one of the latest suspicious packages was found right here in Sacramento, addressed to California Senator Kamala Harris. Now, CBS 13's Lamore Abrams is live at the postal office in South Sacramento, where federal and local investigators are still on the scene this evening. Lamore, what's the latest?
Well, we do know, Christina and Tony, that the bomb squad has officially rendered that, quote, suspicious package safe right here behind me in the back of this post office. Thousands of pieces of mail sent here every single day. But this morning, federal investigators say a postal worker felt one of them was suspicious and quickly alerted authorities.
It was really good work by the postal employees here to identify packages they thought was suspicious.
A suspicious package, the FBI says, was sent to California Senator Kamala Harris. Agents saying possibly in the same type of manila bubble wrap envelopes mailed to prominent politicians nationwide.
The outside packaging looked very similar to the other devices.
But what's on the inside, agents still won't say.
Is this an explosive or chemical based? I mean, what can you
a pipe bomb?
Yeah, what can you describe about the actual device?
Yeah, so I can't go into details about that at this point. That's still part of the investigation. But we do believe, again, that it was a suspicious package and that it was related to the ongoing investigation.
This investigation quickly forcing the evacuation of dozens of postal employees. Authorities then going door to door asking neighbors to shelter in place.
It's just a local post office. Just can't imagine something like this going on.
Just can't understand what's going on in this country.
That's kind of surprising it would end up this far.
Back here live, the yellow tape is now gone. Investigators clearing the scene moments ago. Just a couple workers out here appearing to be going home for the night. But this investigation continues. FBI saying it is now in the process of taking the package and the device back to a lab for further analysis. Meanwhile, tonight, agents say no one was hurt out here. The office of Kamala Harris also issuing a statement saying, in part, Senator Harris is enormously grateful to law enforcement officials across the country who have worked so hard over the past weeks to keep our fellow citizens safe. Back to you.
Lamore Abrams in South Sacramento for us. Lamore, thank you. Now, Senator Harris also spoke out about the explosive devices targeting her and other prominent Democrats.
She delivered these comments today at Spelman College in Atlanta.
The moment where there are powerful forces right now that are trying to sow hate and division among us.
Authorities intercepted another suspicious package at a mail facility on Rollins Road in Burlingame, addressed to Democratic donor Tom Steyer. The FBI responded to the scene, and the suspicious device was moved to an off-site location and was rendered safe. Steyer pledged $40 million for President Trump's impeachment and held events around this country to push for his cause.
President Trump tweeted about the suspicious packages this morning with a focus on the midterms, saying, quote, Republicans are doing so well in early voting and at the polls, and now this, quote, bomb stuff happens and momentum greatly slows. News not talking politics. Very unfortunate what is going on. Republicans go out and vote. Well, we will continue to follow this investigation throughout the evening here on CBS 13. When we are not on the air, go to our website, cbs13.com, for the latest.
Other news on this Friday, one person was shot during a home invasion in Modesto. It happened early this morning on the 1300 block of Conrad Way. One adult male was shot when a number of suspects entered the home just before 5:30 in the morning. 10 people were inside the home at the time, including some children. The victim who was shot was transferred to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and is expected to survive. Authorities are still trying to figure out exactly how many suspects were involved. They say the victims did not know any of the suspects. We'll have more on this at 10. The motive is under investigation.
We did you justice. Amen. I mean, we can't believe it. Thank you.
A Colusa County man convicted of murdering his best friend will remain behind bars. The resentencing hearing was prompted by a 2013 law.
CBS 13's Rachel Wolf was at the hearing and has the details from the Colusa County Courthouse.
Today, the Colusa community showed they are strong and still supporting each other 20 years after this heinous crime.
So grateful for you, your presence.
Their prayers were answered once again.
We did you justice. Amen. I mean, we can't believe it. Thank you.
Friday morning, a Colusa County Superior Court judge upheld the life sentence for Nathan Ramazzini, convicted of murdering his best friend Eric Ingebretson back in 1997.
I feel that the Colusa District Attorney's Office did everything in their power to make sure that the judge saw just how heinous this crime really was.
A then 16-year-old Ramazzini and another teen lured Eric to a spot along the Sacramento River. Then Ramazzini beat him with a baseball bat and slit his throat. Ramazzini was serving his time when SB 9 was passed, giving teen offenders sentenced to life without the possibility of parole a second chance.
We went through this years ago when we were all teenagers, and it was terrible. And to have to go through it again has brought back so many bad memories.
Judge Jeffrey Thompson said he was obligated to hear testimony and review court records, but ultimately found Ramazzini showed no remorse and was, quote, calculating, deceitful, and dangerous, and doubted he could be rehabilitated. John Pointer, the former DA who tried the original case, is challenging the law in court.
It was terrible. If Jerry Brown and the liberal legislature would quit thinking more about inmates and more about victims. I mean, we should not have had to go through this.
Under current law, this case could come before a judge again. Eric's family hopes that doesn't happen, but knows Eric will be with them if it does.
I was only able to do this because, he's watching over me and I know it.
The victim's family says they are ready to get back to their lives, their families, their careers. Their whole life has been put on hold for the past year while this case has been revisited.
Rachel, thank you. New at 5 now, an arrest has been made in a series of fires that had a neighborhood on edge in Cottonwood. Shasta County Sheriff's Office saying detectives arrested 19-year-old Samuel Schofield after conducting a traffic stop. Now, officers followed the car after it left the area of Driftstone Drive in Anderson, where they found an active fire. At this point, he is facing one arson charge. More charges, however, could be pending.
Let's take a live look outside from our CalSTRS camera. A nice shot of the city, showing what's been a sunny and toasty day as we enter a weekend of above average temperatures. And the dry conditions and the winds could keep fire danger high into next week. There's Dave with a preview of what to expect.
All right, this is sort of a transition weekend. We're going to go from some mild weather to a little bit cooler weather as we get on into the tail end of the weekend, and also the leading edge of some changes, as you said, with potentially some wind coming into the forecast. So the high pressure that's been on top of us will stay on top of us for about another day. It's going to get kind of squashed down as we get into Sunday because we have some cooler air on the approach from up to the north and to the west. Also, with this cooler air, we're going to pick up a few clouds and probably drop ourselves on Sunday down into the 70s. As this approaches, it's pretty tight as far as the isobars in between there. The pressure gradient's pretty steep. So in the high country, this is where we'll get the leading edge of potentially some unsettled weather in the form of gusty winds. We could possibly have issues down at the lake as well. But we're talking a fire weather watch in place for all of Sunday up here in the high country around the greater Lake Tahoe area. Coming up in a little bit, we'll talk about what the winds are going to do down here in the Central Valley and how long that's going to last. Plus, we're going to have a peak all the way into November because it's just around the corner. We're changing months. Back over to you.
Dave, thanks. We'll see you in a bit. Governor Jerry Brown and Attorney General Javier Becerra held a news conference in Sacramento today, demanding the Trump administration keep national clean car standards. State officials say the president is ignoring the scientific consensus to reduce emissions to zero by 2050. Becerra said clean car standards are essential to protect citizens from climate change.
President Trump is considering taking executive action to stop people in the caravan of migrants from entering the U.S., even through legal means.
The order, if enacted, would prevent the migrants from seeking asylum at the border. Now, the Trump administration is planning to send hundreds of active duty troops to the border to help strengthen security. The order from Defense Secretary James Mattis will deploy the new troops, joining the roughly 2,000 National Guardsmen that the president dispatched back in April. Democrats say focusing on the border is the wrong approach.
If we could stop the flow of drugs, if we could curtail the level of violence in Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, you would not have these migrants streaming forward trying to get into our country.
Now, at this point, it is unknown how many people in the caravan will make it to the border. Thousands have already abandoned their attempt.
Let me be clear. Walls work.
And with that, the first portion of President Trump's promised border wall is unveiled at the California-Mexico line. It's now the tallest southern border wall, standing 30 feet high, made with metal slats to allow Border Patrol agents to see the other side. Homeland Security Chief Kristen Nielsen gave tours of the wall today. Plans are in place to build 11 more miles of the wall early next year. The CBS Evening News with Jeff Glor will have all the top national and international stories on this busy day. That's at 5:30 following our news right here at 5.
Stick around. Your News at 5 is just getting started. Next here at 5, free dental care, where you can get more than just a teeth cleaning done by dentists on standby.
Plus, Facebook cleaning up its platform ahead of the midterm elections. The accounts and users the social media giant is now deleting.
And a landmark program bringing free internet to local students. How you can sign up.
I want my life back. This is a good start.
A new beginning for hundreds of people who waited hours in long lines for a chance at free dental care provided by an army of dentists from all across the state. Event goers did not have to have any identification, and if you missed today, no worries, there's another opportunity.
Let's get more. CBS 13's Carlos Correa is in Modesto to show us the work that's bringing lots of smiles.
Since 2012, the California Dental Association Foundation has provided free care to more than 25,000 people. That's a savings of about $21 million in dental care.
I'm going to put this little stuff around your gums right now to get the bleeding to stop.
800 dentists from around California are now helping bring comfort to patients who have lived weeks, months, even years with pain, most unable to access dental care.
Are you feeling anything at all, Roxanne? No? Good.
47-year-old Manuel Cerna has lived almost 10 years without teeth. He's missed plenty of good meals. He was one of the first people in line to see the dentist and says he just wants to start living again.
Like they gave me a piece of watermelon when I was in line. You know what I mean? And I was hoping she gave me the thin slices because they had the triangle ones and they were really thick. And I'm like, well, you know, you can bite the tip of it, but what am I going to do with the rest? I got to pork it out.
Dentists are providing fillings, extractions, and root canals free of charge. It's their way of giving back to the community. So far, they have seen plenty of patients.
Around 200 to 300 yesterday. So today we got those in the chair and we have even more coming in. So it is definitely a busy clinic, but you know what? We're trying to get in as many as we can.
Statewide, organizers say 13% of people have no dental insurance. Most don't see the dentist regularly because of unemployment. The cost of care is expensive, and there's lack of oral health education.
Well, the dentists volunteer because, you know what? It truly is a work of the heart.
You can smile really big.
For Manuel, it's an opportunity to smile again.
It was good. It's been a long time.
The free clinic is open again on Saturday. The doors open at 5:30 a.m. Organizers say people should plan to arrive early.
No question. Great work out there. Carlos, thank you. The Natomas Unified School District is teaming up with Comcast to provide free internet service for local families. That new deal offers a reduced rate for up to 1,000 families who aren't already Comcast customers. It's the first time that a school district is paying for students' internet access in Sacramento County. Sign-ups start tonight at 5:30 at Jefferson School.
Facebook has removed a series of pages from Iran targeting users from the UK and the U.S.
The company said it took down 82 pages, groups, and accounts from Iran ahead of the U.S. midterm elections. Now, the politically charged pages and accounts usually claim to be run by U.S. and U.K. citizens, and Facebook says it's not sure yet if the operation was linked to Iran's government. This is the second time in recent months that Facebook has removed Iranian content targeting Americans. General Motors is proposing a federal program that would put more electric cars on the road as the Trump administration works to roll back emission standards. The program would require automakers to sell a certain percentage of zero emissions vehicles or pay companies that do.
With Halloween right around the corner and National Chocolate Day this Sunday, many consumers are spending more on high-end chocolate. I'm contributing to that. Sales increased roughly 25% from $1.7 billion in 2012 to over $2.1 billion last year. Meanwhile, smaller boutique shops are turning a bigger profit, and their samples are good. The holiday season approaching, one of the busiest travel times nationwide is just around the corner. Already that time of year, AAA estimates roughly 107 million people traveled during the holidays last year. And aviation officials say airline ticket and crude oil prices will likely increase, so officials recommend booking those tickets in advance and searching for cheaper morning and weekday flights. If you have a consumer problem you can solve, maybe Curtis can. Go to cbs13.com/call-Curtis and fill out the form or call the hotline on your screen.
We're talking about the holiday season already. Where has this year gone?
Yeah.
Well, we've got another couple of days. We'll be done with this month.
Yes,
We'll be into November, and then Thanksgiving, 12 days of Christmas, then New Year's, and the balance. Oh, I'm getting way out. Wow. All right. I look at the range.
You
I really
are,
do.
yeah.
I think so.
But let's just look like to Monday, Tuesday. What's going to happen here in the Central Valley, especially on the west side? It's going to get gusty. Most likely, potentially elevated fire danger. Humidity will be between about 20 and 25%. We'll carry that humidity, low humidities, into the middle and end of next week. But the gusts will be strongest on the west side of the valley. And again, on Sunday, up in the high country is when we'll get the initial hit of gusts out of the south and southwest. And that's why there's a fire weather watch right around the greater Lake Tahoe area. Let's go to our Holiday Inn Sacramento downtown arena camera, looking at I-5 north and southbound. We've got some fall colors showing up here in the valley, and we've got some temperatures to go along with that fine image. All right, 79 degrees when we should be like 73 degrees. So another day above average for late October. 82 Stockton, 81 Modesto, and 81 for Marysville. Humidity, it's still pretty dry, even though dew points are into the mid-40s, or at 34%. But we'll drop those dew points and drop that humidity very quickly when we get those northwest winds in here as we get into the early part of next week. Overnight tonight, we'll have a few high clouds. We're already seeing a few high clouds stream across the area. The ridge is kind of getting dirty, meaning we're having a system going into it and attacking it in a sense, and these clouds just kind of spill over the top of it. This is the core of our cooler air that's going to get in here. By the time we hit Monday, we're going to be in the mid-70s, so we're going to drop it by about 8 to 10 degrees. We'll stay relatively toasty for tomorrow, mostly sunny skies pretty much everywhere. We're going to have a chance in the high country of maybe a shower toward the end of the day there, up there, as this area of gusty southerly and southwesterly winds kick in there for the fire weather watch, and then these winds start to come out of the north and northwest late in the day on Monday and carry on into Tuesday. That's going to be the big concern. West side of the valley and also into the adjacent hills to the west. All right, so low 80s, mid 80s tomorrow for Saturday, northern San Joaquin Valley, light winds. Same thing, mostly sunny skies, low 80s for Sacramento. So about 8 to 10 degrees above where we should be. And on toward the north, you got light winds and low 80s for Chico and Oroville. And we've got a pretty nice Saturday straight ahead up there for Redding with a daytime high at 82, Shasta Lake at 82. Now, Gold Country, you're going to be above average temperature-wise. Look for mostly sunny conditions. Nice fall foliage already kicking around there as well. Temperatures will be in the mid-70s to the low 80s, 77 Grass Valley, 83 for Auburn. Up in Plumas County, we'll go with mostly sunny conditions there. Temperatures into the mid-70s. Already by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, some ridgetop gusts could be getting upwards of 50-plus miles per hour. So be prepared for some 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts on Sunday, right down at the lake level. So you got a lake wind advisory as well as that fire weather watch posted there. And for the coast, how about we'll go with a few clouds to start, then sunshine and nice northwest wind, nearly 70 around Monterey. You get into the San Francisco area, it'll only be partly cloudy by the afternoon. Decent sea breeze and nearly 70, mid-70s for Santa Rosa. And we'll go partly cloudy skies after a mostly cloudy start, and 60 for Fort Bragg. Okay, 7-day forecast says, all right, we start to cool down, pick up some clouds late on Sunday. Then we'll have the potential for that wind to come in here, especially west side of the valley and the hills off to the west on Monday. Keep it around on Tuesday. That is Halloween, and then we're into November, and we start November about 10 degrees above average, mostly sunny, and 82. All right, it's Friday night. It's time to look at what you could watch right here on CBS 13. Those fine shows right there.
Well, with Halloween less than a week away, the freaks came out a little early in Key West, Florida. Take a look.
Yeah, nearly 7,000 people in costumes hit the streets as part of the annual zombie bike ride. Many wore dead white face paint and traditional gory zombie garb, while others sported tattered clothing or even tutus. Palm trees look nice, like Key West. The Zombie Bike Ride is one of more than 100 events during the Key West annual Fantasy Fest Costuming and Masking Festival. Really? Just call it a Halloween festival.
Right.
17 names for this thing, but it looks kind of fun. We'll be right back. It's a busy news day. The CBS Evening News with Jeff Glor is coming up next.
That's it for us. We'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.